الله 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 نور السماوات والأرض Lantern of light evolving together.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to our respected viewers on Lantern of Light on our pre-Ramadan podcast. And I'm very happy once again to have all of our viewers joining us live at this moment. And I know that we are just a few days away in welcoming Shahar Ramadan. And I'm sure that all the families, all of you are prepping in different ways to welcome this beautiful, blissful month of Ramadan. So today, with us on our program, we will be, having a conversation on how can we prepare ourselves as families, basically, and embrace this holy month more with ibadah alongside coping family bonds. So, from a family therapist's perspective, we will be having Sister Sabira Kanji on board with us, and she will be sharing her thoughts and, from her background and expertise, that how can we plan to generally cater to family needs, understand each other's behavior, cognitive, our mannerisms and etiquettes, as we fast throughout during these 30 blessed days. What usually happens is that, within our family circles, there's a lot of uh, new changes that take place. For example, when we're fasting, we can get angry, we can snap out very fast, or we can misinterpret each other's emotions, right? And then, even as spouses, sometimes, it's difficult to understand each other's, like, for example, love language, or to basically cooperate with each other. uh, and of course, we've got a lot of mosque activities, lot of commitments going on in the background. We have to prep iftar meals as women of the house, as mothers of the house. So there's a lot going on. So how do we take it slow? How do we enjoy the month without making it a burden, but also creating a very beautiful Ramadanic atmosphere within our homes, creating that Ramadanic climate within our homes, so that we enjoy, our families enjoy, be it our parents, our in-laws, our husbands, our spouses, wives, and as well as our kids. So we're gonna be discussing all of this together. I hope that Sister Sabra can hear me and she's there. Sister Sabra, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you are with us.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, I can hear and see you. I hope you can do as well.
Yes, yes, Alhamdulillah. It's an immense pleasure to have you with us on board. I'm so happy that you have managed to join us, and can't wait to talk about uh, Ramadan prepping, our Ramadan reset. So, Sister Sabira, I'm just going to get straight to the point and ask you that, as a family therapist, what are your thoughts on family reset in the holy month of Ramadan? Meaning, as families, what should our aim and motive be?
Yeah, thank you for the introduction and also, the beautiful topic of resetting. Yeah. So when we talk about resetting, usually we think it's just our, spirituality that is going to reset in the month of Ramadan. Like we are looking forward to connecting more to Allah by ibadah, by doing activities that are going to bring us closer to Allah. Because the rest of the 11 months, usually, we are quite on autopilot. And although we try to prioritize our relationship with Allah, but it somehow, is not the same as in the month of Ramadan, which we all know is a month of barakah. And although we have so much to do, but we still manage to somehow, connect to Allah, connect to our souls in a way that will kind of fuel us for the rest of the year. But when we talk about resetting, a lot of the preparation that we do, like you mentioned, as mothers, as wives, is to do with our physical body and the spiritual part of our being. And what we kind
Yes.
of neglect, or what we don't really pay attention to, is our emotional needs, our mental health. And Ramadan is actually a very very it's an opportunity for us to actually reset emotionally as well. Because you see, when
Right.
we talk about resetting, like when we talk, even if when we talk about the spiritual resetting, it is a lot to
Yes.
do with our emotions. It's to do with our nerves, where in
Yes.
Ramadan we are not giving in to our nafs. Like, we are feeling hungry, we
Absolutely.
won't just go and eat because we are not supposed to. Or even if we
Yeah.
we want to do a guna, we will say, no, no, I'm fasting, it's Ramadan, I shouldn't, right? So this
Right.
training of nafs, come to think of it, is actually the training of our emotional health. Because let's say if I want to react to my children, I'll kind of pause, or at least I should be pausing and not reacting, because again I'll be mindful that no, this is a month of Ramadan and I shouldn't be reacting, I should be more in control. So when we talk
Right.
about
Right.
preparation, yeah, besides preparing the samosas and the spring rolls and I don't know whatever we are freezing,
Yes.
which is obviously a very big part of our preparation, and it should be there because obviously that's how we will get
Yeah.
more time to do that if we are preparing.
Absolutely.
But besides
100%.
that meal preparing, or besides preparing for, okay, when am I going to recite the Quran, how do I want to do it this year, how am I going to make most of it, let's just think about how am I going to be emotionally in a better place, relational, how am I going to relate to my loved ones in a better way. When you have
Right.
that intention, or when you have that in your preparation list, you will be different,
Yes.
inshallah, in this Ramadan. So it's about being mindful and then making an intention. Yeah. So when we talk about
Right.
resetting, first of all, identify what are the negative patterns in your family. We all have some sort of negative
Okay.
patterns of communicating, or the
Absolutely. No
overall
family is
climate.
perfect.
Yeah, yeah. And in some, like, let's say in some families, a negative pattern could be that people don't really talk to each other about how they're feeling. Maybe in other families,
Yes.
there is something like people react too quickly, or there are other
Yes.
people, individually, when it comes to, let's say, things not going their way, they lose their temper, or they just emotionally distance themselves. Whatever it is, identify what are these patterns that are in our family, and we want to change them, right? Once you identify them, then only you can work towards changing them. But if you're just brushing them under the carpet and you're not really focused on, okay, the emotional environment of your house, you won't do anything about it. So once you have
Very true.
identified, make an intention, because you see, a lot of intend to, a lot of what we actually do is based on what our intentions, and we all know it. Being Muslims, we know how much intention really takes, is an important part of what you do. So maybe you're not
Mm.
even doing a lot, but because you have the intention, automatically you will become more mindful. So you will be
Very true.
mindful, like, that, okay, actually we are repeating the same cycle, let's just pause. Yeah. So once the
Mhm.
intention is done, the problem is identified, then just like you prepare for your physical needs, you can now prepare for, okay, let's say, okay, we are very reactive, right? And this Ramadan we want to work on it as a family, sit down and decide that, okay, how can we be less reactive? Maybe you decide, okay, well, when it could be different for each individual, depending on their age, depending on their roles, depending on their personalities. So one person might say, okay, I will take a deep breath and that helps me. Someone else might
Yeah.
say, I will take a leave, I'll tell you that, okay, this is getting too much, I'm going to take a back seat. Whatever it is, have a plan, just like you plan for, what time you're going to do your ibadah, what you're going to eat on that day. Plan for your emotional climate as well. And automatically, because Ramazan's timetable is different from the rest of our, normal days, try to take this opportunity to connect more. Like, in families where people don't really eat together, in the month of
Yeah.
Ramadan, Alhamdulillah, they will be meeting for Sahri, they will be meeting for Iftar, because Alhamdulillah, that's our tradition and that's our sunnah, and we are following it. So using
Yes.
this time to connect rather than being on your phone, or I don't know, looking at some, I mean, it's obviously the duas are there, but if you are in a, around the dining table where you are praying together, that is a huge opportunity to connect. Like, how was your day? What was
Absolutely.
what was it hard for you today? Whatever it is, whatever you need to talk about, things that you don't really do in your usual days because everyone's busy, and so
Absolutely.
use that time, and even the time when you're doing your ibadah, your prayers, try to make it, let's do it together. Especially if you have children, it's such a good, I'm sure, like Sister Sakina, you also, like, if you think about the month of
Yeah.
Ramadan when you were younger, you will
Yeah.
remember the emotional climate of your home. You won't remember if how
Absolutely.
many times your mom made pizza for you, or how many times she tried new recipes. We spend a
Yes.
lot of time on these things, and
Yes.
we could actually spend that time to connect, because that is what the children will remember in future. The overall climate, how nice it was, we all used to sit, and obviously the chores as well, right? So getting the whole family involved, because like you said,
Yeah.
sometimes mothers might feel very overwhelmed because they have to do so much extra, and they might feel burnt out by the second week, maybe, or after a week, and they're like, oh my god, this is getting too much. And then obviously the guilt will come in that I can't do ibadah because I'm in the kitchen the whole day. I'm doing this and that. So dividing the chores as a family, that this is how we will, one person will do the dishes, one person will lay the table, whatever it is, and getting the children also involved kind
Yeah.
of lifts the burden on, I think, mothers, and
I think that is the
whatever.
whole beauty, Sister Sabira, the way you said that, when each one gets assigned for like a fun duty, I wouldn't say it's like a ritual, but like children actually
Yeah,
enjoy laying out the
yeah,
table, as you said, one is washing the dishes, one is wiping the dishes. I remember even we used to do this, and it used to make Ramadan more meaningful. And
yeah,
I would also like the point where you said that, we children, even me, like, I don't remember, obviously, what was cooked every day. Yes, I did have my favorite dishes that I used to like tell my mom, like, okay, mom, I'm feeling like having this today, like lasagna, for example, the pasta forno, something like that. So my mom used to, make that, and that
yeah,
was like, and we also had this very healthy shurba dish, which is very
mm,
well known in our Kutchi culture. So,
yeah, yeah,
we used to have this specially throughout Ramadan for all the 30 days. So that was also like something that we used to enjoy as a family, like memoir. If you're asking me, I used to enjoy.
yeah,
But what I used to enjoy most was the get together bit, as you said, when we are praying namaz together as a jamaat, and the father is in the house, he's leading, the mom is there, the kids are there, we're discussing about duas, we're actually encouraging each other to recite dua iftitah, to learn. I remember all those bits, so it
yeah,
definitely created a very Ramadanic, beautiful climate to it. Absolutely. Yeah, please
yeah,
carry on.
yeah. Yeah, so I mean, overall, I think just making the intention and making a plan of how you're going to connect as a family, and how you're going to relate better, how you're going to, uh, whatever is needed in your family, how you're going to implement it in this month, and then obviously you can, inshallah, continue it throughout the year.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think Sister Sabra is really like, making such good practical points over here. And I hope that all of you can, maybe journal it out, write it down, or, share it with your family and friends, because these are all really practical tips. Once we will be hitting the month of Ramadan, all these points will come really handful. Also, the good part was that start preparing the samosas, the frozen samosas and spring rolls, so that you can get enough time to do your ibadahs. And of course we'll be rushing to mosque as well. That is part of our community lifestyle, that after our iftars we rush for mosque and for our Quran khanis and darsas. So it's very easy to basically pre-plan yourself out before that, how are you going to prep your food, and then also get time to quickly wrap up the dishes and head to mosque for engaging yourself more into du'as and the atmosphere, the spiritual atmosphere of Ramadan. Okay, Sister Sabira, let's now talk about behavioral changes, okay, during this month within our family households. Let's start from our homes, be it our parents, if someone is living with their parents, or if someone is living with their in-laws, or simply mostly the way we are living just with our husbands and our kids at home, that within our household climate a lot of changes can take place as well in terms of emotions and understanding or reading each other's body language. So how do we cope with those? How can you give us some good points about how can we like not hurt each other's feelings and not misinterpret, but also keeping it in a very calm atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I mentioned that when we talk about our nafs and when we talk about our souls, a huge part of it is to do with our emotions. Like if you look at the word psychology, or the Urdu word is, nafsiyat. So it's nafsiyat. So it has to do a
That's it.
lot with our nafs. And we kind of think, no, it's to do with the mind and the brain. No, it's to do with your soul. So looking at ourselves, like as human beings, the soul and the mind and the body, they are all connected, and Ramadan is one a month where all we are working on all these three areas. Like we are preventing ourselves from things that are actually halal during the rest of the year. So
Yeah.
automatically we are working on our nafs. We won't, let's say if there is someone who emotionally eats, like when they're feeling emotional, they just crave things and they just eat their emotions, like we say, right? Or they start scrolling and doing something that is not very healthy as a coping strategy. So this is the month where you are actually forced to work on your nerves and to work on your emotions, right? And before even working on your emotions, a step before that is actually being aware of your emotions. So in Ramadan, what happens is you automatically get more awareness of how you're feeling. And sometimes, yeah, because we are on autopilot, we might ignore our feelings. We might say, we might not pay attention to it. So I would really encourage each
Sure.
one of you that when, especially in this month, try to be in touch with your emotions. Take a pause, take a deep breath, and just ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? How am I feeling? Is it whatever the emotion is, just name it, validate it. Ask yourself, where is this emotion? Is it in my chest? Is it in my, how is my body reacting to this emotion? I think I've lost Sister Sakina. I don't know if I'm audible. Okay, sorry, I think there was some technical issue. So, yeah, what I was saying is that being more aware of how you're feeling during that day. So, it's about taking a pause, being mindful of what you're feeling. And if you feel overwhelmed, let's say if you're a mother and you've had, like, you have had a hard day and you feel that you know what, I actually feel overwhelmed, or I feel I need a break, acknowledge it. It's a need that you have, rather than just going on and making it worse, then you'll get snappy, and then you'll get, more overwhelmed. So just taking that pause, letting, you can do a body scan of where am I feeling this feel, where is it in my body, is it on my in my chest, is it my head hurting, is it, that I'm feeling low of energy, whatever it is. If you take a pause and get aware of how you're feeling, then only you will be able to do something about it. What
Very
happens
true.
is we usually jump to, okay, I need to be more patient, I need to be let's say I need to be less angry during this month. But
Yeah.
before that, are you really aware of when do you feel this way, what is your intensity, what makes you feel this way? Then only you will be able to do something about it. Or,
Very.
just take a pause before you get to that extent where then you cannot handle it. So being
Yes.
more aware of how you're feeling, it's about pausing basically. It's about being mindful, and then
Yeah.
only yes, you can do the behavioral stuff like, not reacting, trying to respond, trying to empathize, trying to be, more present as a mom or as a wife. Because
Yeah.
what is happening is you're rushing, doing this, that, and that presence of a mother or a wife, which is the essence of, I think, the family, gets lost. Imagine children seeing a mom, working, but she's not present. She's just like going from one task to another task to another task. They won't really feel that mom's there, or, mom's trying to connect to us, or mom really understands. It will just be someone who is just rushing around. And and this whole month is actually about pausing and reflecting, isn't it? So
Is it? It
just
is.
being
Yes.
more aware of how you feel, and then, regulating how you feel. So if another part of when we talk about emotional regulation, obviously with the change in our, eating habits, there are
Yeah.
chances that we get more triggered, let's say, or we get easily triggered, or by the, if you have habits like coffee, tea, uh, you might get headaches in the beginning, or you might feel that, because you're kind of it's something that you do every day, you're not having it. So
Yeah.
being very when we are talking about preparation, so just starting fasting maybe twice a week, like there's a hadith that we should be fasting on Mondays and Thursdays in the
Thursdays. Yeah.
month of Shaban. And I think, yeah, it's a very good practice to actually start fasting before the month of Ramadan, and then knowing how you feel during the day, and how, not eating makes you feel, and also making changes with your eating habits, right? I mean, like
Right.
I was joking about samosas and pakoras and all that, but,
Yeah.
we probably eat a lot of unhealthy things in the month of Ramadan in many cultures. And we eat a lot of sweets. So
Yeah.
now I think the awareness has gone quite. I mean, there is a lot of awareness that actually these foods will make you feel more lethargic, or they will make you feel, they might fill you up. You might love the taste, but they're not really healthy foods that will
Healthy. True.
help you do more ibadah or stay more present. So the
Yes.
change needs to come from, like I said, like we have to take a wholesome approach of, the body, the mind, and the soul. So it could be simple things like, how am I keeping myself hydrated, how am I choosing the right kind of food, um, the whole body and mind. Okay, what is contributing towards my, let's say if you're getting snappy or whatever it is, how
Yeah.
can I, is it the caffeine, is it me not getting hydrated, or is it just that, I just react emotionally, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, I think that is the gist of it.
Yes, yes. Yes. So, I three good points that I've picked out is that number one, we should really care about our health. We should prioritize our health as well in Ramadan. So sometimes two extremes happen. It's that either we become very diet friendly now, super diet friendly. Suddenly, people start dieting during this month of Ramadan, and they feel like they're going to drop weight, obviously because of fasting, and then even at night, like, they're consuming very less. But that's also something that should not happen. It should be a healthy thing, like you're having good proteins, good healthy stuff that will keep you full as well as energetic. And also a good point, the one that you mentioned, was that how we consume a lot of glucose, or the sugary items that can spike the sugar levels or the glucose levels suddenly, which is not good according to biology, as you said. And I've seen this happen in some households where, when they start with, very sweet or very spicy, it can affect your health on the spot. So that's why it's like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has advised and recommended that it is good to open your iftar with dates, khajur, or salt, or these are healthy things. These are not sugary. This is not going to cause any harm to you, but they are going to maintain your sugar levels. So this point was good. And the third point was about wives and mothers, sisters, who believe or have this misconception, especially in the Asian households or within our cultures, that you need to like पूरा मतलब लोग के खवातीन डर जाती हैं कि पूरा महीना मुझे बर्तन मांजने पड़ेंगे. We'll have to spend the whole 30 days washing the dishes. And that's how then women get tired and exhausted. And some get a lot of anxiety as well, that how am I going to pull off this month of Ramadan? I can't focus on my ibadats. I can't focus on my adhkars and my dhikrs. So, yes, as Sister Sabira said, take it slow. If you feel like on a day you're not having that energy, you want to take a break, or you just want to focus on even just spending the day reading the Quran and going to mosque, and having that peaceful sanity, peaceful mind, and with full mindfulness, then do that. And you can always like take a break on a day, or ask anybody in your household, if you have family members or help in the house, to help you out. And you should not take this month as a burden. Try to meditate as much as possible. Now, I have an interesting question that I'll be moving on to. So, as a couple, this is like for example, the newlyweds, or the ones who've just started their marital lives, and or those who do not necessarily have children but are just basically couples. Okay, so as a couple, simply being husband and wife, what kind of a healthy relationship should we rebuild to manifest the most from the attributes of this month? And also, how can we basically enhance our relationship in this month, being able to understand each other's emotions, and what do you say, enjoy this holy month of Ramadan by not taking it as a burden or something like that.
Yeah, Sister Sakina, your voice kind of broke at the end, but I understood that you were asking me about the couple relationships and how we can,
Yeah.
work on that
Sh-
during the month of Ramadan, be less reactive, be more understanding. So,
yes, exactly.
when we enter yeah, when we enter the month of Ramadan, somehow the whole, focus of our our beings is now towards connecting to Allah, right? But when we are
Yes.
connecting to Allah, that doesn't mean that we lose all our other connections. It is obviously connecting to yourself, which means your soul, connecting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and your family relationships. And
Yeah.
the couple relationship is the foundation of the family. If you're in a nuclear family, even if you're in a joint family, the couples, obviously their relationship will impact the whole home environment. Even if you have children, you don't have children, it will impact your emotional health, your spiritual health, and your connection towards Allah. So everything, like I say, it's a package, right? So when it comes to the couple, uh, just what happens is throughout the year uh, we might forget that in this equation Allah is also there in our relationships, right? So when our focus is on Allah, is on more spirituality, connecting to Allah, as a couple or as in other relationships, if we think of Allah has given me the spouse as a means of comfort, Allah has chosen my spouse for me, for as a companion, right? If we change our perspective to that, we will end up being more forgiving, me being more empathetic, because it's not about me now. You didn't do
Yeah.
this, it made me feel this. You don't do this, you don't help. It's about, okay, Allah has given me this person as a means of companionship, and have conversation around that, right? That how
Mm.
can we actually be what Allah wants us to be towards each other, rather than focusing on, okay, what of my, which of my needs are not being met by him or her, or
Right.
just expanding that view, that what does Allah want me to do, how does Allah want me to behave with my spouse, right?
Right.
It's not about me, it's about us. And it's not just us, it's about Allah is also there in the equation. So that approach will kind of help you understand each other, be more merciful towards each other, be more understanding, be more empathetic, right? So
Very true.
so again, our moods will change during the month of Ramadan. Like, as a man, or if in a traditional kind of a family setup where the man goes to work and the woman is at home, both of you will feel tired, or both of
Yeah.
you will be
Absolutely.
having chores, and you're like, kind of, you need the bed and you want to rest. So
Right.
yes, right, but how can you accommodate that? Okay, what time am I going to rest, what time are you going to rest, what chores can you help me with, and how can I help you with, feeling more rested, or being. So it might be as simple as, okay, I'm going to have a short nap while you're not there, like if you don't have children, or while the children are napping, and you can, just have a nap before iftar. And the man might say, okay, you know what, this works for me. After iftar, I'll have the energy, I'll wash the dishes for you. This is just an example, right? So
Yeah.
take in, rather than complaining and blaming, or whining that, I did so much and I'm tired, and you don't understand what's happening with me, and we also work outside the house, it's so hard to, whatever the issues are, right? And they're there. So just being more understanding, and shifting from the blaming and shaming to towards more communicating openly to each other, so then you can accommodate during the month of Ramadan. The accommodation could be, again, it's not just the chores and making the habits and etc, changing the habits, etc. It's also to do with emotionally. Yeah, have a conversation in the month of Shaban, that, you know what, these are the timings, or these are the things that actually are difficult for me. Like,
Right.
there are people who really find it hard to fast, like they really struggle emotionally, when they've not eaten. And there are others who are quite okay with it. It doesn't
Yeah.
really impact their mood. So
Yeah. It depends.
rather than saying, okay, why do you get so snappy, I'm also fasting, try to understand. Try to understand,
Yes.
okay, he does get, or she does get snappy, and
Happy.
is
Yeah.
having a hard time, especially men, or who smoke, or they might
I've
feel
noticed.
extra.
Uh, yeah. Sorry to interrupt, Sister Sabra, but I've
No, no.
noticed in so many households, especially in Pakistan, India, and also within our Koja communities, like both people are fasting, but you would see the man he can't control his hunger, and he needs to be served like on time, otherwise
Yeah,
his anger levels will get elevated, and he will
yeah,
start venting it out. So it's like, even
yeah,
the women go like, I was also busy in the kitchen the whole day. I was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
fasting, right?
It's
Yeah.
true, it's true. And especially I've noticed with smokers, it becomes like, another level of struggle to, obviously it's hard. But
Yeah.
yeah, so just understand, don't compare your bodies, or your,
Yeah. True.
emotionally how you're. I think mothers have got more resilience, and maybe, throughout the year also, they don't. One day they might eat at one, and one day they might eat at three. Maybe that's one of the reasons that they are flexible, or whatever it is, right? They're at
Yeah.
home, maybe they don't have such a fixed kind of timetable, or they're okay with it. But whatever it is, yeah, if your partner is finding it very hard to fast, it's okay.
Yes.
You just try to understand that, yes, this is how it is, how can we work around that, rather than saying, okay,
Working.
no, how come I can do it and you can't? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Yeah. And also,
Very true.
just shifting to, from blaming and shaming and, whining and all that, just shift to more open communication. Just no matter how many years you've been married, there are probably things that you have not communicated about. There are things that you need to work around, you can have an open conversation about how can we actually make our marriage something that Allah wants from us, something that is more, it's not just on autopilot, that, we are just doing chores or we're just doing our duties. And if someone was to put a camera in our house, and try to understand if this family, even
Yeah.
sometimes for us, like if I put a camera in my house and see the way we are interacting, is this something that Allah will actually approve of, or is it something that needs to be worked on, right? Rather than just moving on and on, just letting brushing things under the carpet and just work, having the relationship on autopilot, because that's what happens, right? And we don't
Yes.
pause. Again, it's all about
Yeah.
pausing, communicating, and saying, you know what, this is not the kind of marriage that we wanted, or that is going to
Mhm.
serve our children or our future children. We actually
Yes.
need to do something, and that
Right.
something could be very small. Yeah, so you can have, again, an intention for the month of Ramadan, that we are going to try to, let's say, empathize more with each other,
More.
or we are going to, start taking pauses, or we are going to start asking each other how, how is it going for you, because that's something we stop, like we stop checking on each other, and
Mm.
each spouse is struggling on their, own. Sometimes you're living under the same roof, but you're just not connecting. You just feel, what's the point, or you're just saying, okay, this
Yeah.
is just normal, like, this is how it's supposed to be. But although deep down you know that this is not how it's supposed to be, and we can change if we, we try, and we first identify the problem. Again, like I was saying, in families there are cycles that are negative. Even in couple communication there are, negative cycles. Maybe one of them is always on their phone, let's say, or one of them
Yeah.
is constantly shaming, blaming, or one of them is never communicating, or, just stone walls. Whatever the problem is between the couple, you can identify and, say, okay, let's try to work on it this month of Ramadan. And with the barakah that Ramadan has, it is going to be,
Mhm.
inshallah, easier for you to work on that.
Inshallah. Absolutely. So, uh, okay, we've discussed about couples as well, and now let's talk about our kids. So, as a mom of to small kids, what I've noticed, because my daughter, when she's 5 years old, and 2 years back, I would say, when she was like three, and I remember when I was fasting, it was very difficult for me to basically break my fast at the same time and attend to her needs. Yeah, because everything happens at the same time. Like, she'll be also seeing food on the table, and then now how they can get a bit messy. They want to be served first and all of that. And so I remember I used to really sometimes get impatient that I'm hungry, I want to eat, I want to sit and break my iftar as well, and I'm not able to do that. So just like in general, if you can give a tip to those mothers, then what can we do? I know we have to be very patient and resilient, but sometimes you just can't bear, you have to clean up the mess and everything, and then you'll be the last person to eat, with the chai also gets cold and everything. It's really nice, like, when there's someone at home who can actually come and offer you the plate, like, beta, have this, I brought this chai, at least have a sip of garam garam chai. So it feels so nice. And I think when I used to go to the mosque on the big nights, and when we are served and everything, so some people, the volunteers, are very kind enough to actually see those mothers who are struggling, and come forward and serve the mother, for example, the chai or whatever they can bring for her. But otherwise, mostly it's like self service. You have to get up by yourself and take it. But what would you generally say from your side?
Yeah. So, Sister Sakina, again, I think it's my connection. Your voice was breaking, but I could tell you're talking about the struggles of young mothers, right? Mothers who have children who don't really understand. They want their needs met, and the mothers sometimes, she her needs again go to the back seat as usual, right?
Yes.
So it's just serving, serving. But again, the mothers cannot serve from an empty cup, whether it's your physical cup, whether it's your mental cup, whatever it is. You need your own need, like your needs also need to be met before you can
Yes.
meet your children needs, right? So when it
Yes.
comes to Ramadan, unfortunately, as as years are passing, you will see that there are a lot of things that we are doing that are actually not really necessary. They are that, it could be, like I said, having three kinds of food, having one fried thing, one, I don't know, main meal, one meetha, whatever. So these shoulds that we have, Ramadan should be like this, meals should be this way, or meals should be served in a proper way, right? Rather than just bringing the pot in the middle of the table. It could actually save a lot of energy, but there's so many shoulds that we have. It should be this way, it should be this way. So a lot of it is to do with quantity rather than quality, whether it's the food and whether it's the ibadah. Sometimes we are like rushing that, okay, I need to finish this dua, I need to listen to this dua, I need to finish the whole Quran. It's beautiful, Alhamdulillah, and it's obviously we have, like, the number of times the sawab is increasing. But if it is bringing a pressure, like stress on the mother, the stress will be transferred to the child as well. The child will notice that the mother is getting stress, and the child will also kind of drive you more crazy, because children sense the stress and the anxiety of a mother. You will notice that the days when you want them to sleep early, they don't sleep early. Why? Because they can notice that you're anxious and you have something to do. It's not that they're doing it on purpose, but obviously they feel the stress. So
Yeah.
just take a back seat and ask yourself, how do you want this month to be? A stressful month, a pressured month, a month where there's a lot of anxiety, or do you want this month that your child remembers as something joyful, something fun, that you used to go to the mosque and you used to do this and that? So again, if it's bringing that pressure, what are your priorities during this month? If yes, you want to do a lot, we all want to do a lot. We really want it to be a perfect Ramzan with all the duas, whether it's the dua iftitah, dua, the sari duas, all of it. We want tahajjud, we want this, right? But if it's bringing pressure, if it is bringing, it is changing your relationship with your children, with Allah, with everyone, like, even yourself, then the question is, then what is the point? What is the point? The whole point is that, to have closeness to Allah. Is it really bringing closeness, or is it, no, I have to do it because I have to do it because everyone is doing it? And
Yeah.
we somehow compare ourselves to other mothers, other women, and we think everyone has got it sorted except me. Everyone,
Yeah.
this other mother has four children, she still manages to come for the dua on time. Well,
Exactly.
again, no comparison. It's we don't know what's going on in their lives, and we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to their kind of, it's not a race. You have to do, you have to do what feels right for you. You know your capacity. Everyone has a different capacity, whether it's your emotional capacity, your physical capacity, whatever it is, mental capacity. You know
Yeah.
what you can take, and you are the best judge. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to accept even that one ayah with reflection, rather than, I mean, like, the quality matters, right? So if you
Absolutely.
really want to do the whole dua of, let's say, iftata is still okay, not very long, but let's say, you decide that I want to do Abu Hamza
Where
Somali, which is a long,
Hamza,
long
yeah,
dua, right?
Hamza.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
a
you
very
can
long
just
one.
divide it. Yeah, you can just divide it into 30 parts, or even if you don't do that, the smallest, just one line, just reflect on it, which is going to take like what, hardly a few, but you will be learning and reflecting and inshallah applying what it says, rather than just reading it and not really understanding. So make your habits in the month of Ramadan that are going to serve you. And when it comes to children, of how to reinforce them, or how to accommodate them in the month of Ramadan, because you must have seen when they are young, they really want to fast as well.
Yeah,
And
they really
sometimes
do.
as mother, yeah, we might say, you're younger, you're this, you're that.
Yeah.
It's not, yeah, but okay, if they are excited, you make use of that excitement and say, okay, you can start with 2 hours of, like, or 3 hours, whatever it is, and you're going to have a baby fast or something, give it a name, a cute little name, and
Yeah.
encourage them. Why not?
Yeah.
So okay, mama is reciting this dua, maybe we can recite even if they can't talk, or we just wear a chadar and sit. This is they all
Yes.
like those kind of
They all
places.
like. Yeah. Yeah.
Having a janamaz or having a special prayer kind of corner, and we unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, on Instagram and on social media, there's so much of Ramadan preparation in terms of decoration. Yeah. So
Yes.
yes, it is good because children get excited, but that shouldn't be our uh, the whole purpose is not the decoration and showing it to everyone. But yes, if it helps children get excited, then why not, right? Don't go extravaganza, but
Yeah.
having some crafts that you're doing together. There's so many worksheets now that you can download according to their age group, things that they enjoy, right? It shouldn't be a burden, like we have to do one page every day, or we have to do this. No, if it is making them excited and closer to Allah, then do it. But if it's like a pressure again, the whole, just ask yourself, the thing that I'm doing, is it pressurizing my child, or is it taking my child closer to Allah? Because
Allah.
what happens sometimes, the way we were brought up, or in the past, it was again, the approach was more fear based, or more, no, 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 don't do this, Allah will get angry. Don't do this will,
Yes.
you got angry today. Now it's Ramadan and shouldn't have. So again, we kind of build that negative feeling. But no, okay, if the child is, let's say, an older child, if that child is getting angry or is getting triggered, rather than saying, Allah is going to punish you, or Allah is going to be really angry because you lost it today, okay, say, okay, I know it's hard for you today, you're fasting, it's hard. What do you think Allah wants from us? How could you have responded differently? And it's for us as well. If we lose it, and we will, I guess, as mothers who are trying to handle a lot of things. Okay, okay, take a pause and just say, okay, how can I do it differently? How can I be more present, more, you know, in control and in of my emotions? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered your question, or was there any other part of it that?
I think yes, you have answered all the questions, and I really admired the part where you said that we should not pressure our children. We should let them enjoy the month, and they should not feel like these are some ritual duties that Allah is like forcing us to do them, and if we don't do them, khuda na khas, then Allah will like punish us or get upset. So as you said, let's tell them, for example, oh, let's do a baby fast today. In
Yeah,
fact, in the early years, like I was planning even for my daughter this year that she's 5 now. Before she's becomes baligh, so I can like even tell her to fast for like an hour or two, and still make
yeah,
her feel appreciated. That oh, at least you fasted for even 2-3 hours,
yeah,
and I've made this reward chart for her that I've stuck on the fridge. That today we're gonna be ticking. That okay, I
yeah,
fasted, and I've recited the Quran with my mommy a bit, and these kind of small things really
yeah,
boost their confidence. Yeah. So
yeah,
we shouldn't be like कि 5 साल का बच्चा है पूरा दिन का रोजा रखेगा तभी वो कामयाब है, like he has done something if he has fasted the entire day.
yeah,
But no, we should not start off like that. Initially, slowly and
yeah.
gradually, yeah, as you said. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
depending on their age and their interest, I remember it was like, I think 3, 4 years ago, for my son, we had made a basket of 30 deeds. So
Okay.
we took like chits of papers, and we both, like, he was actually deciding, but together we decided 30 good deeds that we are going to do this month. So, and then we
Very nice.
closed the chit, and every day he was picking one chit and doing it. So there were things like not just spiritual. So on some days it was like, let's say, one tasbih of salawat. On other days
Very,
it was like, today I'm going to give my mom a head massage, like
very
something like
nice.
that. So
Yeah,
because
very
you
nice.
see, ibadah, yeah, ibadah, the concept of ibadah is not just duas and namaz. Even for
Exactly.
mothers and for us, we have to remember that even the cooking is ibadah, right? Even
Yes.
like anything is ibadah if you have that intention. So sometimes our
Exactly.
focus is on reciting the Quran and doing the askar. But yes, the sleeping is ibadah, the cooking is ibadah, everything is going to be ibadah.
Everything.
So even for
Very true.
children, that it's not just the Quran and the namaz, like if you just give a smile, it's an ibadah. Like, there were things, I don't remember exactly, but we wrote like, okay, doing something positive with your neighbor. It could be anything. Like, so if I'm cooking, he's just going to give the plate to the neighbor, so he feels
That is
good about
also,
it. So,
yeah,
yeah,
an
it's
ibadah.
small things that are like, age appropriate, that are fun,
Yes,
and they feel okay. They are also getting the sawab. Yeah.
exactly. Absolutely. Every action that we will be doing in the month of Ramadan, in fact, throughout the year, when we do it with a very
Yeah.
khalis, good, sincere
Thank you.
intention, it is accepted as an ibadah in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So one should never feel that, we're not doing enough. Of course, you are doing enough. You should always try to achieve the higher level as much as possible, but also be contented and satisfied, uh, that what you are doing is accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So thank you very much, Sister Sabira, for joining me on today's program. It was, as usual, an amazing conversation. Thank you for sharing very practical tips with our sisters and mothers on this Lantern of Light channel. And I will
Thank
request
you very much
all
for
the
having
sisters,
me.
yes, that please do take
Jazakallah.
notes from Sister Sabra's perspective. She's really shared some, realistic points, right? The points should be like, easily something that we can apply in our lives, not something that are very hard to achieve. So these are very good, genuine points that she's shared with us. Thank you very much, Sister Sabira, and inshallah, I hope that Ramadan will be amazing for all of us, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our amals and our fasts, inshallah. I would like
Jazakallah
to
khair.
say,
Same for you.
yes, I would like to say thank you to our viewers for watching and tuning on today's program. Please do give us a thumbs up and share your comments. And please do share this podcast with your family and friends. This is your host, Sakina Habib, signing off. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.